Surrounded by 160 hectares of land solely for country walks, meditation and peace of mind, my accommodation for the last 2 nights in Gozo takes me closer to the Tacheng cliffs. This hotel offers luxury with plenty of amenities. A great place for all the family. Built on Calypso's island's highest point, overlooking majestic cliffs and affording a magnificent view across to the islands of Malta and Camino, this hotel has all the characteristics that you are looking for and that strike your sensitivity. Accommodation is in charming little stone bungalows or trulli scattered throughout the fragrant garden of flowers and shrubs. I had the opportunity to stay in the very same bungalow or trulli that was occupied for a while by Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt while filming their movie By the Sea way back in 2014. I quickly unpacked my things, took out the little diving gear I have with me and headed to Retta Point dive site to meet Brian, my other diving instructor based in Gozo. Having done my paperwork online before this dive, Brian delivers a quick briefing on site with one particular task in mind.
Retta Point is on the north coast of Gozo. And in my opinion, after Dweira, it is the second most popular and most important dive site on the island of Gozo.
The focal point of this dive is to film the various species of shrimps. So we swim out along the cliff wall towards one particular cave.
Along this coastline, although the marine life is quite prolific, the main attraction remain undoubtedly the caverns, the cave, the drop-offs, and for sure also tunnels and a couple of chimneys. Retta Point is quite easy to reach from the shoreline. However, be careful before jumping in the water. Check the weather conditions and that it is safe to exit after the dive.
We reached and entered a small cave at a depth of about 35 meters. Silting in small caves can be a hazard, but fortunately, to reach the shrimps, we had to dive up in a chamber at a shallower depth.
Shrimps Cave is one of these caves. Although it is quite popular within the diving community, it is not as well known as some of the other caves and caverns in the area.
On a ledge inside this submerged chamber, I managed to film a lot of shrimps. I'm told that the shrimps are always here. It's their home.
Shrimps Cave got its name because when we go inside this cave, we always encounter numerous and various types of shrimp.
Besides shrimps, this cave has another secret: stalactites which decorate part of the cave.
On the other hand, this cave might as well have been called Stalactite Cave because, as far as I know, this is the only underwater cave or cavern on the island of Gozo with stalactites.
If what we see hanging on the ceiling of this underwater cave are truly stalactites, these could have only been created when the water level of this cave was much lower than what it is today. Definitely thousands of years ago. It's time to swim out of this cave and head slowly back to our exit point. With Brian's sharp eyes on the lookout, we encountered a lot of marine life on the way back, which surely adds to this already fulfilling dive. After today's dive, my next stop is in the village of Shara. Perched on the hilltop in Gozo, this village of Shara is one of the oldest inhabited areas on the island. It's home to the Gigantia megalithic temples, which date back to 3600 BC. Consisting of two temples which date back to between 3600 and 3200 before Christ, the Gigantia temples are included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The site is considered as one of the oldest freestanding monuments in the world, preceding Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids. Notwithstanding their age, the temples survive in a considerably good state of preservation. This is noticeable in the boundary wall that encloses the two temples, and which is built in rough coralline limestone blocks. The hard-wearing coralline limestone is used extensively at Gigantia, and is one of the reasons behind the preservation of the monument. The softer Globigerina limestone was reserved for inner furnishings such as doorways, altars, and decorative slabs. Each temple consists of a number of apses flanking a central corridor. Entrance to the Gigantia temples is from a newly constructed interpretation center that provides visitors with the opportunity to explore various aspects related to life in the Neolithic period. The center is also home to a selection of the most significant finds discovered at various prehistoric sites in Gozo. If you like caves, especially the ones decorated with stalactites and stalagmites, then a visit to two caves privately owned by two families will certainly add with the other tourist attractions also found in the village of Shara. Ninu's Cave was discovered by local resident Joseph Rappa in 1888, while digging a well under a private house. The cave is formed in upper coralline limestone. It has many natural stalactites and stalagmites, and also a few helictites. Many of these formations are dry, with the same colour as the surrounding rock, but a few are semi-transparent. Ninu's Cave is not far from another underground cave, Sherry's Grotto. Sherry's Grotto was discovered by local resident Anthony Sherry in 1923, while digging a well under a private house. The entrance to the cave is down a 10-metre spiral staircase built into the original well shaft. The cave was extended during World War II when the family used it as an air raid shelter. This grotto is larger than Ninu's Cave. It contains various calcified formations, including stalactites, stalagmites, some of which resemble a tortoise, a vulture, giraffes, or elephant ears. Today, the cave is open to the public, with tours being given by the owners of the house. Another cool way to discover some parts of Gozo ideal for all family members is to join the Gozo Segway Tours on a journey of adventure and exploration visiting the island's most beautiful pastures. There are 10 different Segway tours being offered, ranging from easy to adventurous, scenic coastline routes to off the beaten track passing through countryside passageways. Segways are easy to drive and highly addictive. Great fun is guaranteed. Retta Point coastline offers plenty of other well-known dive sites, such as the ones described to me when I met Brian again back in his dive centre. We had an amazing dive at Shrimp's Cave at Retta Point this morning. I heard that close by there's another cave called Billinghurst Cave. Is that worth seeing?
It's just round the corner. Literally 3-4 minutes diving off Shrimp's Cave as you exit Shrimp's Cave to the left. And yes, it's an interesting cavern, quite a large one. It's ideally to penetrate all of it, the whole length of it. It's almost a couple of 100 meters, and to explore it properly, you need to be a qualified cavern diver or intro to cave diver with cave diving experience, ideally. Otherwise, for inexperienced or people with not the right experience for cave diving, they can only do the first part of the cavern. The first part, they penetrate 20-30 meters, they look out, they see the nice blue outline, and they go out again. They can't proceed to the end of the cave.
Okay, is it safe to proceed?
For experienced divers, it's fine. They know what they are doing. It is safe that way. However, for inexperienced divers, it might not be safe. At the back, there is also an air pocket when you penetrate till the end of the cave. For experienced divers, they can even service at the back in this air pocket. There is a large air pocket. And then they have to descend again to go down. So you have to go back to at least 16-17 meters in order to be able to exit the water, to exit the cave. So for people who are not experienced in cave diving, it might be disorientating. Otherwise, it's an exceptional dive. For experienced divers, it's a brilliant dive, one of the best dive sites, probably the best seawater cave or cavern dive we have got on the Maltese Islands.
Okay, and is there a lot of marine life to see? Is there
Inside
any shrimp?
the cave, not much marine life, but shrimps, yes. There are always three different types of shrimps inside, possibly a conger eel as well, or two, and other crustaceans there, and that's it. I mean, you don't expect to see the life you see on a reef, you know. However, it's an interesting cave for exploring all the nooks, crannies, and crevices inside, even surfacing in the air pocket. And then, if you look through the cracks, there are a few shrimps, different types of shrimps. So it's a nice cave, but for the right people.
Okay, amazing. And I also read something about a double arch close by.
Yes, Double Arch is further to the east on the north coast. It's always on the north coast, a couple of hundred meters towards the east from this area. This is a unique feature, unique underwater feature, in the sense that there is a formation of two arches, one on top of each other. On this spot, the first arch is at around 28 meters, let's say from 26 to 29 meters. And the second arch, the arch below it, is between 32 and 36 meters. So again, not for beginners, this dive is not for beginners, but for experienced divers, it's a brilliant dive. Otherwise, for an experienced divers, they can just stay on top of the reef. The plateau is 17 meters, and there's always good marine life there. There is normally a shoal of barracudas, and there are other smaller fish, possibly tuna or other types of mackerel chasing the smaller fish. So it's also entertaining. But the double arch feature itself, for advanced divers, it's a great dive with a unique underwater feature.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I'd love to see it. And I noticed that Gozo, compared to Malta especially, is famous for cave diving.
There is a lot of caverns most especially along the northwest coast. There is literally hundreds of literal caves. Most of them are small caverns, but when you penetrate them even a couple of maybe 20 meters inside, 15, 20 meters inside, and you look out, you see that brilliant blue, which is unique. Yeah?
I heard about one called Cathedral Cave. Is that similar?
Cathedral Cave is a brilliant cavern that can be done by all divers, all type of divers, irrespective of your experience. You can literally do this dive quite easily. This cavern starts from a depth of 5 meters to a depth of 18 meters, which is ideal for even open water divers. And even more so, as soon as you go in 3 meters, the roof of the cave extends to above the sea level, so you've got a large air pocket. So you can even surface inside. The best part of it is when you surface, because there is this big dome. Some people call it the blue dome, and the water inside looks like a swimming pool. It's really clear, that bluish color, and above all, the air is safe to breathe. Unlike Billinghurst Cave, where the air pocket is entirely closed and there is no air change inside, at Cathedral Cave, in this particular cavern, there is a small crack in the cliff which allows fresh air to come in, and therefore it makes the air breathable and safe to surface inside, enjoy a good 5 minutes at the surface, and then you only need to go back down 4 or 5 meters to exit the cavern. And once outside, you can go either right or left and explore the reef there. Really worth to do, really worth it.
Okay. Well, I'll have to add it on my list for next time I visit.
Another dive on your bucket list.
Exactly. Thank you so much for all the information, Brian.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Diving in Gozo will not be complete if Dwayra is not included. Tomorrow is my last day in Gozo, and I'm looking forward to dive the famous Blue Hole of Gozo.